Getting your Game Boy cartridges sold off to some scalper at your mom's garage sale sounds like a nightmare, and I can see the tears rolling down your eyes because a lot of these games are too expensive due to the retro gaming boom that has been happening over the last few years. And to most, this is not important, but to some, these save files represent hundreds, if not thousands of hours of memories that carried us through our childhoods. And to those that still have their Game Boy games and want to see their childhood save files into modern technology, it's a lot easier than one would think. Most of all, it's just fun to see your past save files in case you want to go back and finish some of the ones that you hadn't before. I know for me personally, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories was one that I got stuck on, and I plan on finishing on the same exact save file. The goal here is simple. We want to extract the ROM file and the save file from each of the cartridges. Keep in mind that the Game Boy cartridges use a saving tech called SRAM, which requires a battery to retain data in its cells. Once the voltage drops, the save file deletes permanently. In other words, there's a high chance that all your Pokemon in red and blue could be gone forever. Game Boy Advance, on the other hand, uses flash memory, so your stuff should be safe. I lied. Google just said Game Boy Advance cartridges used a mix. And here's a table showing the 4 different save types, and it seems Metroid Fusion is at risk, but Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Zelda Minish Cap are safe. And for context here on the conditions of my cartridges, my Pokemon Ruby, along with the rest, sat in my parents' hot garage for many hot summers, and I was still able to rescue my save files, so you guys should be good. Once you have the files, it's pretty easy to just use it in whatever device, whether it be your Apple iPhone, your iPad, your Android device, Windows PC, your SteamDeck, or in my case, the Aynthor. Now, for starters, you're going to want to make sure that you get a cartridge reader like this one. This one is the GBxCart RW. There are other ones from different companies that have different features, so make sure you do your homework. I'll leave the link in the description below. Now, for this entire process, I'll be showing you how to do it on the Linux operating system on your Steam Deck. Nonetheless, though, you can go ahead and just do the same exact thing on Windows. You'll just have to download the Windows assets instead of the Linux ones. And let's get over into the install process, which is pretty straightforward. You're going to want to just go ahead and hit the Steam menu button, power, and go over into Switch desktop mode. Open a web browser. You'll want to head over into the GBxCart website, link is in the description below, and scroll down. Right here you're going to see a Macho Nacho production video, a lot of good information in that. And the rest of the webpage just gives a really good intro as to what this device does. Scroll down, you're going to see the GitHub website downloads link right there and be taken over into this page. At the time of recording, we are on version 4.6, and if you scroll a little bit here, you're going to see the app image that we want, which is the Linux-x8664.app image. The other ones are for like Windows and stuff, but the one that we're doing for right now is for the Steam Deck. And go ahead and feel free to open this up in your downloads folder. And completely optional, but I did drag mine over to the desktop folder just for me to have quick and easy access to it. You will get 2 messages when you first open it up. Just click execute and continue on them. And there we go. This is the way it looks. And here we're going to come over to the most stressful part, which is finding out if your cartridges are working or not. Here are some of my GBA titles that thankfully survived the garage sale years. And we'll go ahead and take Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland as our example for this. And once you have it connected and ready to go, you'll go ahead and open it up, and you're going to see 2 options at the top, the Game Boy Advanced option and the Game Boy option. For this cartridge, we will be doing the Game Boy Advanced option. You'll go ahead and see an info panel displaying the metadata such as the game name, the ROM title, the RTC, and furthermore you can click on the Analyze Flash Cart option, which shows you the save type, the cartridge type, and the ROM title. Now I did say we wanted to extract both the ROM file and the save file. So first we're going to go ahead and grab the ROM file by clicking over to the Backup ROM button. It'll take a second there to extract, and will give you the option on where you want to save the file. Next, you'll go ahead and just click on the Backup Save Data button to save the save file, and you should be done. Now, I did want to show you guys an example of a cartridge that doesn't work. Here we can take my sister's Pokemon Sapphire, and as soon as I hit refresh, we get a red "No cartridge detected" with an invalid checksum in very scary red lettering. The hard part is done, and now you can just drop these ROM and Save files into your Google Drive or microSD chip, however you feel comfortable moving these files. If you have an Aynthor or any other Android device, you can hook it straight into the Steam Deck with a USB-C and transfer out the files this way. Now you can just fire these up from whichever emulator you choose from. My end goal was to transfer these into the Aynthor and use the super simple emulator like Pizza Boy. I know most people like using RetroArch, so it's all up to you on how you want to play these. For the iPhone or iPad, you can use Delta, which runs flawlessly with something like a backbone attached to it. For the Aynthor, I am specifically using a front end called Cocoon, which simply launches Pizza Boy and any other emulators of my choosing. A neat feature that Cocoon has is that you can scrape all of the artwork for each ROM file you have and it automatically applies it to them. So when you launch Cocoon, you can see this nice layout of all of your games. Seeing my childhood saves and playing through some of these GBA ROMs on the Aynthor personally does bring back some nostalgia since I replayed through so many of these titles on my black DS Lite. The dual screens and the clamshell feels nostalgic while also giving me that modern touch. Some of these save files reflect and show a version of ourselves that got stuck in some of the games that we never got to finish, and some of them show hundreds of hours building your beloved Pokemon team or the finish line to some of the most difficult bosses you had to memorize and beat. Shout out and rest in peace to my grandmother that spoiled me rotten by buying so many of these Game Boy Advance cartridges for me and my cousins. But I want to know what you guys think. Did your games manage to survive the years of neglect, or did you sell them for $1 a pop at the garage sale? Please let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe.